Hey everybody, it's Roman Rich. Today's adventure brings us to New Mexico at the Bandera Volcano. So we're going to check it out. This thing's been here for thousands of years, and I figure I'd bring you along for the ride. So let's go. Hi there, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good, good. So where are we at today?
We're at the ice cave in Bandera Volcano, New Mexico's land of fire and ice. And I can tell you a little bit about what we've got to see and do here.
Okay.
This is an aerial view of the property and a map of our trails. We have 2 trails to walk here. They're both included. It's a self-guided walking tour. You could do both trails and be back to the trading post and the parking lot in about 1 hour at a leisurely pace. So from the trading post, one trail takes you around the side of the volcano. There's a large opening that was washed out when this volcano erupted and the volcano poured out one side. As far as cinder cones go, this is a very large cinder cone, 1,200 feet across and 800 feet deep, and from that lookout point you get a beautiful view of inside the volcano. Over a half-mile walk you'll gain 150 feet of elevation, and that'll give you a great elevated view of the lava flow that poured out of the volcano. We also have the second trail that goes to the ice cave. That's included also. That trail takes you right over the lava flow, 400 yards. At the end of the trail you come to a section of collapsed lava tube, and that's what this feature is right here. At the end of the trail you come to this wooden stairway which takes you down the side of the collapse, 65 steps down into the cave. There's a one-room cave where just the right physical factors make a natural ice box. So the temperature in the cave is stable around 30 degrees all year round, even on the hottest day of summer. So as rainwater and snowmelt seeps down there, it freezes and makes new layers of ice. From that viewing platform, you're actually inside the cave, but you're not walking through a long dark tunnel, and you never lose sight of day, but just a few steps out, you're back out to outside temperatures again. So you could do both trails and be back here in about 1 hour at a leisurely pace, and they're both included.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. We're going to go check it out.
All right.
Okay, so we're coming up to one of our first formations, it looks like. Looks like part of a lava flow. Right there. It's fenced off, so it means it's something important. Stop 10. Let's see here. That's pretty cool. It's like a lava tube. Is that what that is? It says spatter cone. So yeah, it's some sort of like a lava tube. Very cool. Okay, so we're walking along the trail. Right now we're heading up the top of this little mountain. I guess this is the volcano. Jeff tells us that our total elevation, continental elevation, is around 8,000 feet. So the air is a little thin. I'm already running out of breath. But all in all, it's supposed to take about an hour, so it should be pretty fun. There's lots of cool trees and rocks. Supposedly, in this area, we'll see some wildlife too, potentially. So let's see what we find. So you'll notice off in the distance a few trees that are kind of scalped a little bit. There's one like right there. There's another right there. There's a few more off in the distance, various trees that have just been like scorched. But what that is from lightning strikes. So we're so high up in the air that these trees are prone to getting struck by lightning. That's why they're kind of scalped looking. Okay, so here before you is the cone. Down below is where the volcano erupted and blasted, so to speak. Very, very cool and very cold. I am freezing. How cold is it, Jamie? Yeah, it's about 15, 20 degrees right now. So it's cold, but
There's snow and ice on everything.
yeah, snow and ice and everything. So that's the cone. Let's go see what else we can find here at the Bandera's Fire and Ice Cave. Okay, so now we are walking to the ice cave. It's just a short walk. And as Jeff tells us, this particular path has been here for thousands of years. He says that the Native Americans walked this same exact path, although it wasn't quite as wide and nice, but it was the same exact trail that the Native Americans walked to get to the ice cave. And why did they get the ice cave? Well, they needed water, and that was a big thing, was water. They would take the ice and melt it in pots, and they found quite a few pots and other artifacts in this area, and we're going to take a look at those a little later. We're going to walk down to the cave. I'm just about to the end of the trail, and this promises to be exciting, I promise you. I'm going to switch camera. Our pal Jamie Jessup, video editor extraordinaire. Okay. Hold on to rail, watch your step. Here we go, folks. Ooh, boy. Going down to the ice cave. Are you okay back there? Jamie's gonna freaking run me over. Uneven steps ahead. Oh, there we are. There's the ice cave. Ooh, it's icy too. The steps are icy. Be careful. People have been coming down here for a long time, thousands of years, in fact. We know that people have been coming down here for at least 3,500 years. Let's see here. Get into some different light. There you go. There's some ice. Pretty cool stuff. Now, this is not your typical perennial ice cave. This is perpetual. In other words, there is ice down here all the time. 365 days a year, there's ice down here. You see right down through here is more ice. The light down here today is really not great for cameras, but we'll do the best we can. So that's it. That's the ice cave. Pretty neat stuff. This is the Bandera Volcano. They guesstimate that to be, I thought they said about 10,000 years old or so. It's actually a pretty easy walk. So for anybody who's thinking about coming down here, if you're thinking about coming down here, it's pretty easy. This is only about 400 yards away from the lobby, so to speak, the main office. And it's pretty flat. You could bring a wheelchair down here. Now, of course, you can't get down the steps in a wheelchair, but even the steps really aren't that bad. So, pretty easy attraction to get to. I would recommend it. It's about 30 minutes south of Route 66 out of Grants, New Mexico, and definitely worth the stop. It's been here for many, many years, and it actually dates back before Route 66, but it was a major Route 66 attraction at one time. So it's worth coming to see. And as Jeff says, as far as Route 66 goes, the attraction itself, the tourist destination, really hasn't changed much over the last few decades. It's pretty much the same as what it was during the 1940s. So if you want to see a genuine Route 66 attraction from the 1940s, come to the Bandera Volcano Ice Cave. One last look at the cave. Got some formations up top. Beautiful. Okay, so Jeff here is going to show us some of the artifacts that they found along the pathway to the ice caves. Show us what we got here, Jeff.
So all of the artifacts found in this cabinet and the cabinet on the opposite side of the room were found in and around the ice cave. Evidence that people have been coming to the ice cave for 1,200 years. The oldest artifact in here is about 1,200 years old. The most recent artifact is about 400 years old. Those shelters that are outside the ice cave that most of this was found at were probably permanent campsites that they would come in seasonally, and these appear to be their campwares that they left behind, so they didn't have to carry them around wherever they went. The owner at that time, David Candelaria, who came and opened this up as a tourist attraction in 1947, explored all the lava, and he found all of these artifacts in the late 40s and through the mid 50s, and it looks like people considered the ice cave to be a valuable location, a valuable natural resource, of year-round source of water and ice. So the artifacts in this case, noteworthy artifacts here are some of the larger pots. Those are very large pots to be found nearly intact, and a few stone tools. Interesting yucca fiber sandal, and a real interesting piece here. This was a piece that was a little bowl, and it looks like it's an ornamental piece where they've carved these little bumps in here. This was found in the lava in this condition. This appears to be lava, and they've got these little sandstone balls in here. And nobody knows really exactly what those are, but that's pretty interesting. And then the stone tools that they found in there, just like this. There's some woven material. This probably came from a basket. And we're high and dry, so not a lot of moisture gets into these caves, and that's one of the reasons why these artifacts are so well preserved. These weren't found in dirt, so they weren't dug up. Another reason why they were intact. They were mostly located inside of lava features, surface tubes, where there was a little cave and they were stashed in there and then covered up with stacks of rocks. And that kind of explains why they're so well preserved.
Okay. Can you tell us about this pot up here to the right? And I'll help you close this door here.
Okay.
You don't have to open it. We can kind of see it.
Okay, so one of the older technologies of pottery making involved creating coils of clay and then wrapping them around and then using their fingers to get the clay to stick together. And so they call this like a thumbprint pattern, and all of those individual marks were left by somebody's thumb where they were creating this clay pot.
That's pretty cool. What's your favorite piece here, Jeff?
Well, I don't know really. My favorite piece probably is this bighorn sheep skull. This was found in another one of our caves. It was embedded in a block of, or kind of a slide of ice, half sticking out, and underneath the ice was a bunch of ash. And so we know not only were they living near that cave and using that cave as a resource, but at that time they had hunted and actually succeeded at getting a bighorn sheep. The last bighorn sheep was seen, eyewitness, it was 1955, I believe.
Wow.
They tried to reintroduce them in the 90s, about a half a dozen of them, and they didn't survive.
Well, that's too bad. Well, we really appreciate the little tour of your artifacts. I think this is probably one of the most intriguing sections of the entire property is right here in this case. I'm kind of an archaeological fan, so this is like really tickles me big time. So thanks for the time and thanks for the tour, and we'll be sending some people your way.
Thank you.
I do. I'm Roman Rich. As always, go your own way. See you in the next cave.